Welcome into Outkick, the show, boys and girls. My name is Clay Travis. I am your fearless leader. I hope all of you are having fantastic Thursdays wherever you may be across the country. I'll be live on Lock It In about an hour. Already did my 3-hour morning radio show. We'll soon hop a flight out to Santa Clara while I will be present to see what happens with everything surrounding the Alabama-Clemson game, which we will break down tomorrow, and then I'll break down live out in Santa Clara in the Bay Area on Monday. But we begin today's show, as we always do, by telling you that right now you need to go to sportsbookreview.com. Make sure you shop everywhere around for the best possible deal when it comes to Wild Card Weekend in the NFL. The lines are moving, shifting. Make sure you get the best possible number. Also, on top of that, make sure that you are going to my guy Ryan Kelly for the start of the year. They have got a brand new offering at thehomeloanexpert.com. You go to thehomeloanexpert.com, and in 5 minutes, they will get you pre-qualified for a mortgage. If you're thinking about moving, if you're thinking about buying a house, it's important to know how much money you have that you can put down. 5 minutes is all it takes. So wherever you are across the country, your wife is in your ear, hey, have you gotten pre-qualified yet? We're trying to buy a house this spring. Have you looked into it? Have you taken care of it? Are you on top of it? I know how that process can go. You've got a billion things on your mind. Go to thehomeloanexpert.com right now and go ahead and get pre-qualified. And then the next time your wife brings it up, you can be like, yeah, you know what? I did. Boom, I took care of it. You have no idea how long it took. Hours I had to spend this past Saturday trying to get it taken care of. Boom, thehomeloanexpert.com. I'll keep it quiet. You don't have to tell her it only took 5 minutes. You can take credit for a couple of hours of paperwork and all of the trouble that you went through to take care of her demand that you go ahead and get pre-qualified. For people who haven't watched the show yet this week, I've got the stash because I lost a bet. I had to shave the beard on Lock It In. But I decided to keep the stash, keep the stash until Friday, then go ahead and take it off. Big day in the Travis household. The whole family's going to watch Aquaman tonight. Can't wait to go check it out. And in the meantime, I am hoping that they're going to put me on the next season of Narcos where I can make gambling picks and also sell you a kilo of Coke. Fingers crossed that Narcos Nashville edition is going to be on soon. All right, let's dive right into it. A bunch of stories to hit. Let me give you the rundown. NFL ratings up 5% over last year. Antonio Brown mess. How do you solve it if you are the Steelers? Ruben Foster cleared of domestic violence. You won't hear very many people talking about that. We're ranking the 8 jobs that are open in the NFL. And also, tap the veins, boys and girls. It was a rough bowl season, but I have got a blood bank guarantee for you. Santa Clay coming to town a little bit late with the blood bank guarantee tonight in the NBA. I will give it to you at the end of the show and also on television on FS1. All right, Blood Bank is back, baby. It's time to get rich. NFL ratings up 5%. What does this tell us? Okay, the previous 2 season NFL ratings were down 19%. And all of the stands out there in the NFL came around and they said, oh, this is inaccurate. It's because of cord cutting. It's because people are watching television less. And what did your boy say? Your boy right here with the spectacular mustache for the moment. He told you the truth, which was the NFL got woke and they were going broke. People don't tune into NFL football games to find out the political leanings of players. They don't care. Just like you don't go into the Spider-Man movie to find out what he thinks about abortion. You don't go to an NFL football game to see what a player in a uniform is advocating for during the national anthem. It was bad business to cover the politics. The NFL got woke. They listened to social media. They overreacted. They lost their base and ratings plummeted 19%. What did they do in the offseason? The NFL had a meeting of the minds with CBS, NBC, Fox, and ESPN. And they said, hey guys, we know you guys lost over $600 million off your budgeted money in the NFL ratings the past couple of years. Why don't you just not talk about protesting players? Don't discuss it at all. Focus on bad officiating. Focus on dumb coaching calls. Focus on stupid player moves. All of the on-the-field product doesn't in any way hurt our business. But the moment you start talking about things that have nothing to do with the NFL and reflect our larger political universe, you take away the unifying factor of sports. The average guy who pops open a beer and kicks back to watch Sunday NFL football doesn't want to be bothered by politics. That's why he comes to watch the NFL, just like your average guy or girl who goes to watch a superhero movie just wants to be entertained. And so guess what happened? The networks got smart and they stopped covering the protest and ratings went up. It's not rocket science. It never was. The numbers went down because there was a segment of the population that was turned off by woke football. And as soon as they went back to just covering football, guess what? Football's fun. People like football. It's why we watch sports, to escape the serious things in life. As one of our most famous sports writers of all time, I believe it was Grantland Rice, a fellow Vanderbilt grad, if I'm not mistaken, he described sports as the toy chest of life. And in the toy chest of life, you don't want to sit around and spend your time when you could be having fun with your sports, worried about every other political issue that is confronting the country as a whole. And so the NFL for 2 years got woke and went broke, and then they came back and they made the smart decision and they just put on football games. And guess what happened? Everybody came back and watched. Turns out Patrick Mahomes is really fun to watch throw a football. Turns out Drew Brees is really fun to watch throw a football. Hating the Patriots is fun. Having an opinion on whether or not the Rams offense is going to carry forward into the playoffs is outstanding. Khalil Mack on a blindside quarterback hit is fun to watch on television. And as we enter into wild card weekend, there are a lot of really good matchups I'll be talking about tomorrow on this show and tomorrow on my radio show. But for now, the story is simple. Get woke, go broke, focus on what you do well. The NFL puts on one hell of a television product, and they got back to it. And congratulations to the NFL on reaping the reward of focusing on their core customer. Now, we got drama, NBA-style drama in the NFL. Antonio Brown got into it with Ben Roethlisberger. He's not getting along with Mike Tomlin. He's throwing footballs at people. He's not showing up for multi-day practices. He's showing up for walkthroughs late. He's not responding to text messages. There's only one possible solution to the Antonio Brown mess. You got to trade him. I don't care what value you can get for him. You find somebody who's willing to trade for a 31-year-old wide receiver who you have wildly overpaid. Important lesson to understand, in the history of the Super Bowl, the best player on the team has never been the wide receiver, ever. Because wide receivers are divas. They are the equivalent of accoutrements. They're like a nice dress on a hot woman. The reason why you're interested in the hot woman is because of what she looks like without the dress on. The dress sometimes can make things a little bit better. Wide receivers are the shoes on a nice pair of legs. They ain't the legs. And over and over and over again, NFL teams overvalue the side and not the meat and potatoes. The meat and potatoes, your offensive and defensive line, and your quarterback. The dress, the shoes, the flashy necklace, the flashy watch, all of that is unnecessary. It's the sizzle on top of the steak. You got to figure out what the meat and potatoes is. And the Steelers have made a mistake overvaluing Antonio Brown. I can't believe this. This also ties in, I think, with LeBron James's comments about how NFL players are slaves. Oh, really? How many people in America would keep their job if they threw something at a coworker and then didn't show up for 5 days straight, including the biggest conclusion of the end of the year? It's like a tax accountant throwing something at somebody in an office and then not showing up to file tax returns at the end of the season. Nobody would keep their job. Antonio Brown is still employed because he's got a contract, and the Steelers have $20 million in salary cap obligations. You have to trade this man. There's no other solution to this problem. There's no other solution to this situation. People say, oh, well, he's upset. This is a 31-year-old man come this spring. He's showing up on the new Fox show, dancing and singing along to My Prerogative in a hat. Mask, all right? Masked Singer, whatever that show is called. This is not a dude you can rely on. This is a diva who's past his prime. There aren't very many 33 and 34-year-old receivers who become studs. Somebody will give you a third-round pick for Antonio Brown, who believes that they are on the cusp of making a Super Bowl run and that he might be the flavoring on top of their steak. Get a third-round pick for him. Continue to roll with Juju Smith-Schuster. Go in the first round and grab somebody like A.J. Brown. You've got a stud quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger. Quarterbacks make receivers. Receivers do not make quarterbacks. I'm telling you right now, you cannot allow for Mike Tomlin's crazy crew of Steeler drama, the Kardashians of the NFL, to get even worse. You already had the Le'Veon Bell mess. Get rid of Antonio Brown now. Trade him, trade him, trade him. Get value for him. Reclaim that locker room and take control of your overall franchise. The Rooneys deserve better. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers we're talking about, not the Kardashians. Make it happen. So, simple solution there. Ruben Foster. I want to talk about Ruben Foster for a minute. Ruben Foster, a linebacker for the San Francisco 49ers, has now falsely been accused of domestic assault twice. Charges have been dropped on him in Tampa Bay. The same woman that wasn't trustworthy in San Francisco has now not been trustworthy in Tampa Bay again. This is why you cannot believe all women, just like you can't believe all men. The stupidity of social media slogans in a Me Too era would argue that you have to believe somebody based on their gender, that you have to believe somebody based on their sexual orientation, that you have to believe someone based on their race. Anyone with a functional brain should tell you that is called racism, that is called sexism. Some women lie. This woman has now been proven twice to have made allegations that are unsupportable by investigations. Everybody ripped the Washington Redskins when they decided to sign Reuben Foster. Is anyone going to point out that they look incredibly astute right now? They got a first-round linebacker with incredible talent for free because they did not hashtag believe all women, because they looked into this case and said this looks like a toxic relationship with a woman who has a history of making all sorts of false claims. Therefore, we are going to believe Reuben Foster. They got him for nothing, and by next season, I think he will be a starting linebacker for the Washington Redskins. What do you do if you are the Redskins? You say, I never want you within 100 feet of this woman for the rest of your life. Everybody knows people who are toxic in relationships. A guy and a girl who just can't be together because inevitably fireworks happen. They go from everything being hunky-dory to disaster in short order. Maybe this is you. Maybe this is one of your friends. Maybe this is one of your family members. They can't be allowed to be together alone. They can't be allowed to be together within 100 feet. Block that number in your phone. Never be in the same room with her again. Move on with your life, Reuben Foster, and she needs to move on with her life as well. This is a toxic relationship, and it's threatening to destroy both of their lives. They cannot be in the same room anymore. But this goes to my point at large. If you listened to social media, if you listen to all of the left-wingers hashtag believe all women in sports media, Reuben Foster's career would be over. No one would have ever signed him. Props to the Redskins for not believing all women, for actually doing an investigation, realizing this woman was a liar, and supporting Reuben Foster when he was falsely accused and falsely charged with a crime. Boom. That is the right move. There are 8 jobs that are open right now in the NFL. Many jobs that need to be filled. How would I fill them? How would I rank them? I'm glad that you asked. The 8 jobs in the NFL that deserve to be given credence here. In order. If I am advising as a agent, coaches that are available on the open market right now, the best job in the NFL is the Cleveland Browns. Baker Mayfield had the best rookie season of any quarterback of all time. The Browns are young, they have salary cap space, they have good, solid talent, and Baker Mayfield proved that he so far has been a very good draft pick. The best job open right now in the NFL is, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the Cleveland Browns. The second best job. This guy has slid under the radar. I don't know how it's happened considering he's playing in New York. Maybe it's because the Jets are so bad. But have you been watching Sam Darnold down the stretch? Sam Darnold has been phenomenal down the stretch. He has made throws that few, if any, quarterbacks in the NFL can make. I am here to tell you that the Jets are the second best job available right now. They are interviewing Cliff Kingsbury as we speak. I know some people don't think it makes sense to hire Kingsbury. I differ. I think the NFL in this modern day scoring offense, I think Sam Darnold would be a great fit for everything that Cliff Kingsbury does. I would take a swing at Kingsbury if I were the Jets. I think he could be a phenomenal hire. The third best job. Somebody says, Kingsbury couldn't win in the Big 12. That's because he was at Texas Tech. Nobody can win in the Big 12 if they're at Texas Tech except for Mike Leach. That doesn't mean that he's not a good coach. It means that Texas Tech is a crappy job compared to most other top Big 12 jobs. Just because you can't win at a crappy college doesn't mean if you go to the NFL that you're going to fail if you have a good quarterback. Go back and look at what people said about Patrick Mahomes. They said he went 5-7 in the Big 12. He's going to stink in the NFL. And guess what happened? They went out and put up 50 touchdowns this year. Patrick Mahomes couldn't win in the Big 12 because their defensive talent stunk. He got to the NFL and he has been phenomenal, just like he was phenomenal in the Big 12. Just because the overall talent stinks doesn't mean that he's going to stink in the NFL where there is much less talent differential. Good Lord. Be intelligent, people. Be intelligent. Use your brains. Don't be stupid. I think Kingsbury would be a good hire. Third best job open in the NFL right now, Green Bay Packers. I'm not sold that Aaron Rodgers is going to play until he's 40 years old. I'm not sold that Aaron Rodgers has a lot of years left on his career. If you watch him, he looks old. He looks out of sorts. He looks like he does not have a ton of years remaining in the NFL. That's my opinion. I don't think he's going to play to 41 at a high level. I don't think he's suddenly going to have his best year at 39 like Drew Brees did. With that in mind, that is why I put the Browns and the Jets above Aaron Rodgers and the Packers at 3. In the 4 spot, I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals if you believe in Josh Rosen. In the 5 spot, I've got the Broncos. I'm not a big believer in Case Keenum, but I still really like their defense. I think Case Keenum is good enough to get you into the playoffs and lose in the first round. Bengals, I've got it the 6th best job. Let me say this really clear for everybody out there right now, too. If the Cincinnati Bengals hire Hugh Jackson, they have to make the Brown family sell the franchise. You cannot allow the Brown family to continue to run the Cincinnati Bengals into the ground. If they hire Hugh Jackson to replace Marvin Lewis, you have to insist that they put the franchise for sale. You have to free the people of Cincinnati from the prison of football futility that they have been in for the past 40 years. Hugh Jackson's coaching record is 336-1. Marvin Lewis was bad, but at least he went 131 and 122 during his tenure with the Bengals. You must take away the franchise from the Brown family if they hire Hugh Jackson. 7th best job is the Dolphins. I don't like the quarterback situation. I don't like the roster that much. The Dolphins forever in Dan Marino's shadow. Worst job open in the NFL right now, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because they've said that in order to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers job, you have to acknowledge that Jameis Winston is the face and future of the franchise. Winston is Black Blake Bortles. He is a disaster. He is not the future of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers franchise. He's a turnover magnet. He makes stupid decisions, and you have to worry about him raping somebody off the field. This dude is an idiot. The top 8 jobs in order available right now in the NFL: Browns, Jets, Packers, Cardinals, Broncos, Bengals, Dolphins, Bucks. Finally, what else do we have to talk about here? What did I say? I got a blood bank guarantee for all of you out here, all right? Blood bank guarantee. I am tapping the veins. The Houston Rockets are on the road tonight against the Golden State Warriors. Tap the veins, boys and girls. It's a Thursday night NBA special. Get on the line right now and make a play. Boom, boom, boom. The Rockets cover on the road against the Warriors tonight. The Warriors have been crap as home favorites against decent teams this year. It's going to continue. James Harden is on fire. The Houston Rockets have turned everything about their season around. This is an opportunity for the Rockets to establish that they are still Western Conference contenders. The Warriors don't care about the regular season at all. They are not playing with intensity. The line is 8.5 or 9. Get money, kids. Boom, boom, boom. Somebody said money's boring. NBA's boring. You know what ain't boring, motherfuckers? Money. Cold, hard cash. It ain't ever boring. That's why pull your dick out of your pants, twirl it around like a helicopter. It's a blood bank guarantee, and it ain't nothing wrong with getting rich, kids. Houston Rockets, big win tonight. My name is Clay Travis. This is Outkick the show. We're going to make it rain tonight with a blood bank guarantee on a Thursday night NBA edition. Look out, Todd Furman. Look out, Cousin Sal. A king's coming to town, and his name is Clay motherfucking Travis. This has been Outkick the show. Thank me tomorrow when you're rich. DBAP, boys and girls, unless you need to SBAP. The Rockets are all taking us to the moon with a lot of cash behind us. Ozark style, baby. We're getting rich tonight on the Houston Rockets. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll also see you in about 30 minutes on FS1. This has been Outkick the show. Lock it in. Up next. In the meantime, DBAP, unless you need to SBAP. Rockets, baby. See y'all. Love you. Thank you, Facebook. See y'all.